Hello guys, I have something a little bit different for you today. This is a replay, and I am recording my commentary over the replay after the fact. So while I haven't prepared any of my commentary for this video, it's not real time. And due to the fact that it is a replay, my reload timer on my custom crosshair is not working properly, and that's just a glitch in the replay system. There's nothing I can do about that. I am uploading this video for two reasons. Number one being it contains some useful gameplay and some moves and routes that might be useful for people playing medium tanks. And number two, there's a good example in this video of why people of my skill level, people who end up having to carry teams all the time, are so sour, negative, and frustrated all the time. And I know you guys don't come to this channel to hear me vent and rail about the idiots on the server, but I think a greater understanding of the frustrations might be helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and start the video. And it's a tier 10 battle on Fisherman's Bay. Not a fantastic map, it could use some changes, but it's not a terrible map. And already I know that my team's at a pretty serious disadvantage here. If you look at the teams, you see quite a bit of orange on mine, and you don't see much on the other. And it's a pretty clear sign that the other team generally has more skill than mine. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna lose, but it's usually a pretty clear indicator. And they also have a better tank lineup as well. They've got 3 tier 10 TDs. And I would argue that the bat-shot artillery, the tier 10 on their team, is a lot more useful on this map than the GWE. But I took a couple of snapshots at the ISU that I lit. I went out to the middle of the map to get some early lights. You know, unfortunately it wasn't helpful for my team because nobody is going middle, and the only guy that did go middle is an IS-3 who's suiciding at this point. And I'm trying to get shots on these guys, but it's just not a good idea to overextend there in the middle where there's no cover. And I'm hoping I can catch this guy's turret as he backs, but I can't. But I will catch this guy. So at this point I'm concerned that we might have a pretty heavy city rush because I don't see the waffles. And the IS-7's being pretty arrogant in terms of hiding and playing conservatively. He's playing pretty forward. So right now I sense a city push coming, which would completely annihilate that entire flank. But I don't want to go into town to stop it, and there I lit the waffle, one of them at least, so I know that one waffle is on the 1 and 2 line. But I don't want to push into town even if they were pushing, because I'd get caught in there and wouldn't be able to get out. So at this point my plan is to wait for any type of city push to actually happen, and once they are fighting during their push, I'll move in and see if I can play off of their mistakes. So right now I'm hoping another tank gets lit on that 2 line. Doesn't happen. So I see the IS-7 pushing on the E-100. That's an indicator that they're making a city push. I know there's an IS-3, a Conqueror, and an IS-7 in town. I know that the ISU is probably back there, but I'm not sure where. So I'm playing cautious right now. We've lost the IS-8 in city. E-100 is the only one left, and I do not rely on him at all because he is a terrible player. He's orange here, but his win rate's in the red in the 40s, so I don't rely on him there. Now I got nailed by that Conqueror, but I don't think he had an upgraded gun because he only did 230 to me, so I get lucky here trying to dodge, get away from that IS-7. I got an extremely lucky shot on that Conqueror, but it was aimed. Lit him on fire. I think I probably hit one of his ammo racks. There's the SU, and I make an extremely careful aim shot to make sure that he gets tracked. I do not want him turning at me. And I use his still alive at that point body to block any shots or any easy shots between the IS-7 and myself. And that IS-7's under pressure, but he doesn't have a very accurate gun, so he misses me. That bat's circling him. I get a nice shot into his butt. Now, the first shot, right before the one I just took, into that IS-7 did track him, so the bat was able to circle him extremely easily. And at this point, I've done a lot for the team. I've gotten 3 kills, 3,700 damage, and I'm wanting this Batchat to come to me. I'm not sure if he's tracked. I can't see his right track. It looks like his left track was, or no, his right track was tracked, so I actually didn't notice that while I was playing, so I was wondering what he was doing, but I understand he couldn't move now, so I thought that IS-3 would come out around that corner, but he's actually behind the 1-story building there. And I can't see him. But the tree did go down. I'm not sure if it was from somebody firing at it. It's possible that the GWE shot at it. But I thought perhaps IS-3 knocked it down. So I took a blind shot at the corner of the building, hoping he was there, and he wasn't. But he is now. So I'm going to get a nice side shot on this turret. It was pointed at the Lorraine. And I don't know what that Lorraine was doing. Right as I was leaving town, I was about to type to him, you know, what the fuck you doing, get back? But he, as you can see, died. And that'll happen just about now. Yep. I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest. There was no reason for him to be up there. But at this point, not really surprised. Oh, there goes our Batchat. Died for nothing. Now, both of those targets are lit. I think the easier one will be the 54E1, so I get one shot on him. Then I back up. And luckily I was not lit. And that's one of the nice things about having an excellent crew. on any tank is that you can really abuse the limits of any particular mechanic. So, you know, if you got a good camo rating on your crew, take advantage of the spotting mechanics as much as you can. So I stop in that bush there to make sure that that E1's not continuing into town. And at this point my plan is to go into town and get into G9 right along the edge of the coast and creep up on anything they have in their base. I'm expecting at least one artillery to be down there, and probably like the K8. And I'm also expecting that 54 E1 to still be near the rocks or trying to move into town. And the reason I took that coastal route through town is because if the E1 was coming into town and I got lit by him, I don't want artillery to have easy shots on me, so... But I did light this artillery, and I was able to shoot him twice without getting lit, which actually surprised me. I thought for sure that I'd get lit there, but I did not. And right now I'm looking for the second artillery. I do not find him here. He's camping on the other side of the map at this point. And he actually, I gotta give props where it's due. That Batshot Artie did exactly what he was supposed to do throughout the entire match. And he did a pretty fantastic job for an artillery. So there's the E1. I got a nice high roll on him. And I do get hit by the artillery here. Pretty good shot. And my guess is that he was pre-aimed there because his other artillery had died, so he knew, you know, and the 54 E1 was just confirmation that I was over there. But I'm betting that Batshot Artie was actually pre-aimed on that side of the map the moment that the SU Artie went down, before I got lit by the E1. So that Batshot right there, that Indigo Kid, complaining. And he'll be complaining again, and he's actually the key reason why I wanted to upload this video with regards to reason 2 that I gave. And you'll see in a couple of short moments why he frustrated me so much. So at this point in the game I have done at least 5,200 damage. I've actually done more than that, and I'm not sure where the rest of it came from. I think maybe spraying shots into the forest on the 2-line earlier, but there you go. This, or that rather, was why I wanted to upload that video. So I'm gonna rewind it a little bit here. Okay. So here we are again. Now it's showing some of these tanks as alive. They're obviously not. That's a problem with the replay system again, but watch what this Batshot says after I do 6k damage and 6 kills for the team. So he's accusing me of not being a team player so I can stat pad. The Yag Tiger thinks that bat's saying something intelligent. And this is where I die. And I know the 54 is coming over here. I'm hoping for a high roll on him so I can get the one-shot kill. Doesn't happen. I actually get a pretty low roll. and I get finished off by artillery. And it's frustrating when if you go back over the replay and you look at what I did, you can pretty easily, I think, obviously my opinion's biased, but I think you can pretty easily tell that a lot of effort and thought was put into my play. I obviously had my team in mind. At one point near the end, I had a decision to make. I could either support the 2 tanks that were camping on the 1-2 line, or I could go and take out one of their medium tanks and possibly both artillery. And I think reasonably and rationally, that the taking out the artillery would help the team more than camping on the 1 and 2 line. I don't think I was wrong in that decision. I'm almost positive that I made the right choice there. I think it was a loss either way, to be honest, but I think the decision I made to swing around town and backdoor their base was the best option I had. And then that bat comes along and implies that I wasn't doing enough work for the team, that I didn't care about teamwork, and that I was only, again, this is implied, directly implied, rather, but the bat claims that I was only concerned about my stats. This is frustrating for 2 reasons. Number one, it takes a real idiot to think that a 59% win rate is padded. If you want to see padded win rates, go look at people who have 70% and up. Really, 65% and up is padded. And again, that depends on your definition of padded. If you want to include anything that's platoons, which personally I think that platooning is stat padding. Not that platooning is wrong or bad, but it does pad your stats. And there's also, going into like tier 3 battles and seal clubbing type of padding. And I obviously do neither. And the other thing that really annoys me is that I put in so much effort into trying to bring about a win for my team and for myself, obviously. And then some idiot comes along with, whatever delusions he's working under, and says something stupid like that. And it's just so frustrating at times to put in so much effort and for it to essentially be wasted. It's a primary reason why a lot of players of my skill level are so frustrated constantly, because we essentially see the majority of the player base as either lazy, mentally lazy, in that they don't try, or that they are not able to learn from mistakes. So at this point I'm rambling a little bit, but I think you guys get the drift of what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to show. I'll leave it up to you guys whether or not you think that that I was playing for stats on this one. And I hope that some of you will learn, number one, again, some of the interesting and I hope useful gameplay. And number two, I hope that you guys will learn where some of the frustration comes in this game, and it's not just, I'm not saying only people of high skill level are excused, or there's a reason for only them to be frustrated. Any player of any skill level that earnestly tries to win, has a good reason to be frustrated because of the non-stop ineptitude that so many teams show. But it's especially barbed and annoying in cases like this. So I'm going to stop, because at this point I'm just rambling on about nothing, and you guys didn't come here to listen to me complain. But the intention of this little contemplation was not to relieve any tension that I felt by whining. It was rather to share some insight, like I said. So I hope you found this video useful. As always, I appreciate any comments or questions that you have. Any criticisms also, as long as they're kept constructive. So thank you for watching.